Hello, everyone.
Hey, happy
It
Monday.
is Monday night. It's a special Monday night. It's post-challenge Monday night.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes, it is very special. Post first, let's say it's special because it was a first Canadian
First Canadian
challenge.
challenge.
Yeah.
I have to tell you all. First of all, thank you all for joining us, especially
hmm
if you listen to me talk all weekend. Because if you're watching the stream and you listen to me talk all weekend and then you're here to hear, me talk a little bit more, you're a glutton for punishment, and I appreciate you. So full disclosure, these Monday night shows, it's always a good time for us when it's not the weekend of a challenge.
That's very true.
When it is the weekend of a challenge, I don't know you, but I'm exhausted.
Single momming it this weekend
Yeah.
we're teething, and
Yeah.
so it was a weekend
I don't
for
remember teething, but
sure.
it looks miserable.
Yeah, it does not seem like an enjoyable experience. I kind of just wish we could skip that part in our lives, having to go through teething. But yeah, it
Yeah.
was. But I'm glad you're home. You got
I'm
home like a few hours ago. I missed you.
Yeah, I literally rolled in here. Thank you. I missed you too. I literally rolled in, I don't know, like hit the couch and immediately started
Started,
prepping
yeah,
for.
let's talk Lorcanaing it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we almost pushed it off to Tuesday night, but we can't do that.
No, that wouldn't be
But
us.
next week we might do that.
I was about to
In
say,
all
well,
seriousness,
next week is our daughter's birthday.
that's true.
The day of Let's Talk Lorcana. Like,
So
it
two
is
things,
officially.
fair warning, next week we may push it off for a couple of reasons. One, it's our daughter's birthday. Two, Matthew Robert Davies is going to be in town here in Austin doing a signing at our local game store. Matthew Robert Davies is a very accomplished Lorcana artist. He's in town from Wales. So
I also will say 3 are plane lands at 7 p.m. So
3 our plane lands at 7 p.m.
we're also going out of town this weekend too.
So on that note, if anybody has any cards they want Matthew to sign, he is charging stuff with.
Yes,
Let us know.
sorry.
It's like
Back to Matthew. Yeah, we're so excited. He was in the US, not in town. And reached out to Liam and I was like, "Hey, you want to or do you have an LGS like I can come sign at?" And so he's coming to our LGS, which I'm so excited about for so many reasons. First, having a Lorcana artist actually here in Austin,
Yeah.
super jazzed. And then 7, Matthew is just like so wonderful. I'm so excited. We haven't seen him in almost a year. I'm so excited to get to spend time with him. So yeah. It'll be a good time.
It's gonna be great. So anyway,
Yes.
we may have to push off a day or two next week. We'll see. So I apologize if you build your Monday nights around this. There's a few who do, but not
I
many.
mean,
We
for
do.
those, I will say, but though for those of you in the US, like it's Labor Day, it's a day off, go
That's
like
true.
barbecue and like celebrate the end of summer type of thing instead of
Yeah.
listening to us talk
Anyway,
in the void. Yeah.
no, I was gonna say let's we have some guests in the green room, so I do want to get down to business here and do a few things. First off, I do want to spend just a quick second saying thank you everybody who watched the stream. If you did, Aaron, thank you for watching the stream.
Oh, you're welcome.
Providing me some feedback. The
Are you thanking me for my feedback?
Yes, it was good. It kept me honest.
Poor Liam, I text him. I'm like, we need to talk after that match.
Yeah, also be more high energy. No, the entire for anybody who watched, you all don't see behind the scenes, but the entire broadcast team works with PPG and various other folks to make the best possible product for you all. And there are occasionally hiccups, I know, but there's a lot that goes on behind the scenes. Everybody cares. And from the commentary team, I can say, I won't talk about the production and everything else, but I will say from the commentary team, from those of us who sit behind the microphones and try to entertain you all and explain the game, we appreciate you, and we really, I'll do a whole video in the near future about how we prepare. And if you have any constructive criticism, feel free to send it, because we're all trying to get better each and every time to bring you the best possible product.
Wait, can I do a thank you before as well? I would like to say thanks to Aaron Rubin for coming and hanging out with me yesterday and watching the stream and playing Lorcana with me and being so patient. At one point, we were about to get started and I was like, I'm really nervous. Like, I've never actually played Aaron before, I think. And I was like, I'm really nervous. And he's like, oh, you're going to be great. And I was like, you're not sitting across from one of the best players in the world right now. So I am nervous and have the right to be. But he was so patient with me and like coached me through a really great deck. And it was just like a lot of fun. Like, my mom watched our daughter and I got to be a grown up for a little bit and it was awesome. So anyway, thanks, Aaron.
Yeah, I missed out hanging out with Aaron. Aaron and Aaron. So yeah, but I'll close with, before we bring in our first guest, doing commentary is a dream, and I know every single commentator enjoys it quite a bit and tries to bring you the best possible product. So I appreciate you all and everybody who gives us this opportunity, and everybody who watches, and everybody who tries to make us better. So thank you all. And with that, let's bring in our first guest. So we have some great guests here this evening. First, we're going to bring in the host of the podcast, Wanna Lorcana. It's Rob. Rob, how you doing?
I'm doing so good. Thank you so much for having me on. It's an honor.
I'm so excited. We've been trying to make this work for a while.
Yeah, since Atlanta.
Since Atlanta. Yeah. It's on me that we haven't made it happen. Because
me too.
And
all right. I'm so happy to be here now, so it's all that matters.
We're so excited to have you. Wanna Lorcana is a fantastic podcast. You do, all sorts of fun content, and occasionally you get fun, spicy, exclusive first interviews, like your interview with the winner of the Atlanta Challenge, Joshua Pult, who's a friend of yours, and it was a fantastic episode.
It's super convenient when one of your close friends wins and you have a podcast. You're like, hey, why don't you come on and talk about your victory? And then I get to kind of vicariously through him, but as through my content as well, be able to just interact with people like yourselves. And that is bringing me deeper into the Lorcana community. And I am a novice when it comes to making content. Oh boy,
I was trying to get people to follow, and then the unfollow button came out, and I'm like, wait a second, that was the wrong message.
My heart.
I know. I'm sorry. I was trying to encourage people to follow.
Unfortunately, I haven't been able to make content for 2 months, although it looks perfect behind me. About 6 hours ago, this was an absolute disaster because I'm remodeling my basement. So I didn't even actually have electricity in this room until today.
You put electricity in that room just for us.
Yes, absolutely.
So kind of you.
That's the nicest thing everybody's ever done for us.
I would do it a third and fourth time as well. I say second time because I screwed it up the first time. But now everything's working. The lights aren't flickering. As long as I have power, I'm here. I'm so excited for it.
Love it. Love it. That's awesome. Oh gosh, living through a renovation, never an enjoyable experience.
Yeah, and myself and my brother-in-law are the ones that are doing it. So it gets it done on the cheap, I'll tell you, because it's labor of my own. But it takes a lot longer, and it's really, really hard. So that's why I've been without for 2 months. And I don't really do as much with Twitter and stuff because all of you guys do it so much better than I do. So well, I just here and there be like, hey guys, I'm still here. Come listen to me. I'll come back. But I plan on making an episode for next week and getting back into the saddle now that I have electricity again.
Hey, you tag us in an episode. Anytime you release content, you tag us. We'll retweet.
Oh my God, thank you so much. I will learn how to do that and then do that.
All right.
Liam definitely runs our Twitter account. So I feel you on that one.
We'll talk about that after, Liam. I'm gonna need some pointers.
Yeah, Liam's like, hey, can you go onto our Twitter account and do da 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 da? And I'm like, sure. Yeah. And it takes me 10 minutes.
Oh God, I'm the worst.
About Instagram, that's Rebecca or Enchanted Kim or Illumiteers or
I will also take your list of people I should talk to about each of these. I
have lists.
Excellent. Very excited for that.
Inkwell Heroes is also another one. Anyway, so I do have another guest we want to bring in. Before we do, though, I have one question for you. I want to talk about your experience for just a moment before we bring in our highlight guest for the evening. This was your first Lorcana Challenge in Toronto? No, you did Atlanta.
I did Atlanta, yes. I was with Josh, and we all went in together for Atlanta. Right. So this was my second regionals level tournament that I did in Toronto. Actually, I did one for Pokemon last year. Okay. It was at the Enercare Center, and I was actually. That's what my experience for all of these that I have been I've been at these convention centers. So this was the first time I've actually done one in a hotel, fancy hotel. Don't get me wrong. It was beautiful. They really put a lot of very amazing infrastructure, and there were signs, and it was split up nicely. All of that was done so well. I was loving that. But it was a different experience. I'm used to just going into a giant square room with 6,000 other people. Exactly. Cold, uninviting. This had soft chairs, had those pretty gigantic lights that were all too distracting. But that sort of change in venue made a difference in a feel. Also the size, right? When we went to in Atlanta was 2,000 people, like 1990 or something like that. And this one was 1,000. So it was a little more intimate. Again, we get softer chairs, softer lighting. There's a water station. I felt like saying garçon here and there, just making sure it's keeping that level of fanciness. But I did well this time, so that is new for me. I usually do fine, but I was a win away from making day 2.
Wow.
And that I will take that. I love Lorcana. I love lots of card games. I am good at them. I am not necessarily great at them. I don't know. I have a really great play group. Obviously, Josh, former champion, so I've learned from him. I have actually one of my other play group people won they had that constructed tournament that the attendees could do. He won that. So we have some very talented locals here, and I've been learning a lot from them, which I think is what got me to as high of a level as I did. I got 154th place, which I'm fine with. That's top 16%. I'm fine with it.
Take it.
That's great.
So
you said something about not being a good card player, but evidence says otherwise.
That is one. You have a small sample size, Liam, but I'm going to take that and love it. Thank you so very much.
That's what I have to judge you on. So
100%. 100% of the time, I'm 16%.
Well, fantastic. Overall, good experience?
Yes, it was a good experience. I really just got to sink my teeth into with my deck and felt like it was running the way I wanted it to. Top decks were normal. I didn't feel that sort of RNG crunch that sometimes I do in these. And as I said, the venue was great. The people were great. I loved the game. I got to listen to you on the way home, which was nice. So overall, an amazing experience. I'm so glad I got the opportunity. It was very hard actually for my playgroup to even get tickets. Only 4 of us out of, I think, 17 that had tried were able to get tickets.
So many people, I feel like, tried to get into Toronto and didn't.
Yeah.
I feel like everybody, though, is like making up for it in Vegas, because I know I feel like I know a lot of people going to Vegas now. So that's exciting.
Yeah, I'm hoping that that's something that as they see how good this game is and the response that it's getting, maybe they are going to be able to get a few more spots open. I don't know how many they're going to need. Apparently there was 40,000 people tried to get into Atlanta. So I know that there is a lot of demand, and we all know it's an amazing game.
Yeah, absolutely.
I agree. Well, let's bring in the next guest, which I feel like a lot of people are probably here for. Before I do, real quick, shout out to Forbidden Mountain in the chat. I don't know how long you're going to be here because of the weekend tournament. You're probably tired, but Forbidden Mountain's here, and one of their players, a member of that team, actually took second in this tournament. So huge kudos to them for that. So, all right, let's bring in our next guest. So really, really excited whenever any of the top players who are in the top 64 who have 2 grueling days make time to join us on a Monday night. And
it was like after they've just been sleep deprived all weekend and grinding games.
Especially if they're on Eastern time. But we're joined here by one of the top 4 players, and one of the players that I think everybody loved following throughout the weekend because the cosplay was on point. Yeah, so we bring him in right now. It's Mathieu Bertrand, also known as Focus.
Hey, how's it going?
Hey, thanks so much for joining us.
Oh, it's an honor. First of all, sorry for my English. I'm French Canadian, gonna have a big accent.
Got you perfectly.
Totally fine. Your English is perfection.
Yes, if people don't know me, pretty much everybody, because it's my first big tournament. My name is Focus, and I am the world worst organized player of all time. I see RMB on the chat. I almost give him a panic attack with how I deal with my ink and my discard. So I have to apologize for that. I'm so used to play online. I played 90% online, so everything was like straight on point. And then you go and you're stressed, and you have 15 ink, and you don't want to mix it with your end, and you don't want to mix it with your discard, or you don't want to put your ink closer to your deck because your opponent cannot see it or something like that. And you don't want to seem sketchy, but you seem sketchy by not trying to be sketchy.
Yeah. Oh, that's funny. So we have sorry, the chat is being. We'll talk about the play in a minute. The chat's asking for the Mando helmet. We see it there in the background.
Yeah. Grogu.
And Grogu.
Oh my goodness.
I have to, RMB Inkwell Management give you anxiety. So for those who aren't familiar, you actually played in cosplay. Now, not the full cosplay, because the helmet, I understand, is difficult to see through. But
well, I've been told after that my opponent might want to cheat by looking at the best card in my hand if I wear it. So no, but I'm sure they won't do it. But it's mainly because I cannot see nothing with that helmet. As you can see, and try to read the card, I'm not able to.
This is amazing. How
I have to hold the card up because you can't see very well through that. Shout out Demetrius. I know Svet is in the chat. Demetrius, I think this photo credit goes to you. So thank you.
Amazing photo.
Focus. How long have you had the Mando cosplay?
I built it most of the I can't 6 months ago.
Okay.
Or yeah, for the convention in Ottawa for like last winter, and then I've been using it, but it's only real cosplay I have. Mostly it's 3D printed. I bought the helmet, I bought the saber, and I bought the belt because I'm really not good with my hand. But there's no way you can buy this if you don't buy yourself some part. So I did the best I can, but because I'm not good, there's falling apart all weekend, and there's a big piece here on the middle that the glue just went off. So I'm like, okay. And then I realized when doing my interview that the chest plate was not straight, and I just looked like somebody that was pretty tired, but I was. So
yeah, you are.
But I'm a big Disney fan. I have my whole sleeve is Disney, it's Pixar Disney.
Oh my gosh!
Oh wow!
Yeah, as you can see.
Whoa!
Hold on. Let me watch
Ratatouille. That's fantastic.
Yeah, that's Inside
Anger.
Out.
Yeah.
Wally.
That's amazing.
Wow.
So yeah, I'm just. I cannot wait to 2026 to Pixar go into Lorcana.
I'm so jazzed about that.
Yeah, that's so cool. I mean,
it's gonna open up so many doors.
What is focus of you? What is like the one Pixar property you want in Disney first, or in Lorcana first?
I think just the incredible team can be so much good with all the power and things like that. It can go so much synergy and the spread, and they're working about probably the Incredible 3 coming soon, so it can fit super well.
Yeah.
It might be sound a little bit more like Encanto 2.0 though, so we have to see.
Yeah, I could see that. Like just tons of synergy between all of the Incredibles. That would be awesome. Oh, Edna mode. Oh my gosh.
I just want the action. Where is my super suit?
Where is my super suit? No.
You gotta have Edna's house too.
Oh my gosh. Is No Capes in action? I guess it has to be.
No
Capes. It could just be her little ability at the bottom is No Capes.
Or the Uninvited.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
And guess. Oh, and guess. I watched that movie in French. So I was like 8 years old.
And
yes, something surprising with Toronto is everything there was in US dollars. So I spent way more than expected because I thought it wasn't in Canadian for a bit.
See, we were doing the opposite. That. We were like buying dinner up there, and we're like, "Wow, this is pricey." Oh wait, no, this is fine.
I paid I paid the $10 water bottle because everything was closed.
Yeah.
And I have dry mouth, so every 5 seconds I have to drink water when I'm stressed.
So was everything in the hotel in US dollars?
No, that was just 10 Canadian dollars.
Okay.
But everything was just expensive for somebody with my budget.
Oh yeah. Hotel anything is convention anything. I think when we were in Fort Worth, I think I paid like $16 for like fried rice with nothing in it. Like it was just, I was like, and it was like kind of cold. I was like, well,
you have to pay an extra $3 to get it warm.
Yeah, supply and demand is a cruel equation.
On the first day I did a seal and to get some ticket to get the Rapunzel and something like that, and I won the seal, and I because I drafted. No, it was a draft. I draft like a DZ foil and another DZ normal, and I went to sell it like $25. I'm like, that seemed pretty cheap, and then it was like, no, it's US. I'm like, oh, okay.
I do want to talk about your deck and your performance in the meta and all these things in a moment. But before I do, quick question. So you know R&B?
I think that Pixelborn community, it's really like kind of narrow, and RB, it's extrovert on the channel. He's not afraid to speak the truth and speak his truth. So it's always a nice to hear his opinion. He's really like straightforward opinion. I faced him a lot on ladder back in the day when I was first set one on Pixelborn. I was playing blue purple, probably that one of the only blue purple we've ever seen set one. So as you can see, I'm not into like tier 0 deck.
So you're a fan and a friend of his?
I can't consider him a friend because we never take really time to chat together alone, anything like that, because we all do our thing in life, but we chat on Discord. So I'm not gonna take the pretension that I know that guy. I just know him from the Discord community, and from what I know, it's really is a big part of that community. So all my respect to him.
I will say here at the Illumiteers, we are all about making new friends.
That's true. Making new friends, making connections. That's one of the things about doing a live stream. Sometimes you can just like do fun things. So,
whoa,
we're gonna make a new friendship here.
Oh, sorry again. And yes, I practice a lot versus Lemon Lime, but never with somebody playing Cove. So yes, I saw Cove. I'm like, how do I deal with that? And I just freaked out and never attacked it. Sorry about that.
What's up, brother? How you doing?
Oh, I'm doing great, going fine. And just reviving the Pixelborn meta. Being there, I brought my T-shirts with my name, so people don't know me my face. So I saw Serek, I saw Wonderland, I saw Sailor, all people from the good old time. It was a blast from the past.
Dude, I was following you the entire weekend on Melee. Like when I saw your name pop up around it was in day 1. I think it was like round 6. Like, so I helped my dad rebuild a porch this weekend on Saturday. So like I missed a good chunk of the coverage on Saturday. And like as I was like driving home, like I was kind of like while I was at stoplights, guys, while I was at like red lights, I was like looking through Melee, and I saw Focus, and I was like, no shot, Focus finally made it to a DLC. So like I started following it, and like I watched your journey all through day 2, and I was like, bro, that's my boy. Like we used to play a lot. Lot back in the day.
Because when you're like Grandmaster and you play 40 games a day, you're gonna face like at least 5-10 times a day.
Yeah, it's like the same group of individuals, like the highest caliber players.
It's a meta inside a meta inside of a meta. We tech card that was never other place. And when people said you want to play that, no, don't play that. I just play that to counter RMB, or because I know that Wonderland's playing that, So that was kind of funny. But I almost didn't get my ticket for Toronto as a competitor. Actually, from last minute, I still have my attendee ticket. I got my competitor ticket. Not by the wait list. Actually, I went straight, like there was like a bug or something when there's some ticket that was available on the website, like 1 ticket per day around 10 a.m. So if you go to the event, there's like 1 ticket, you just buy it. I'm like, why is a ticket available when everybody's on the wait list? But I
scoop up a ticket last minute and take top 4.
Yeah.
I sat on the wait list the entire time, like waiting to come off the wait list, and like I had the most FOMO this weekend.
Oh yes, I should have I didn't know you were looking for a ticket. I should have maybe tell you to try it.
Oh, I had no idea.
Because me and 2 of my friends, we got those ticket like that. Me one day, the other the second day, and I was like, oh, I think it's like actually like maybe they keep some ticket in your reserve, and then they just kind of like, I don't know what happened. I don't want to blame or nothing. I'm just proud and happy that happened like that. But
yeah,
I was on the wait list too. I was second one on the app, refreshing, and then the app bug, and like 1 minute later, everything was sold out.
Yeah. Man. That's what happened to us with D23 this year.
Yeah, except we didn't get a ticket.
Yeah, then we didn't get a ticket this year.
So not salty. RMB, you want to hang out? This is the second week in a row we've like pulled you in last minute because it seemed appropriate. Hang out
I love you guys. Yeah, of course.
Oh. Well, good. Well, yeah, if you need to go, let us know. But
I'm just gonna be sitting here watching you guys anyway. So
live shows fun.
R&B all of a sudden just gets really quiet in the chat because he's sitting backstage.
R&B is also the second reason I finally didn't put Ook in my deck, because like Ook is bad. Don't play Ook.
it just isn't.
Well, actually, yes, because I did like 100 of simulation on Tabletop Simulator playing alone, just to see how many time I break. Like, if my opponent is a chair, how many time I lose by myself. And I realized that if you play like the aggro curve, like Smee, Ook, Quill, and you use Quill and you play Shinpo or like Cogsworth, if you don't have Iron by then, or a good turn 6 or Only World, then you lost just by yourself. So having sure to like not play Popsicle on turn 1 instead of Ook, you draw an extra card, and you have the extra card from Ook that you can ink, so you can easily go to 6. That's the one of the reason I finally remove Simba, because sometimes you just start at 6 and you have to ink Simba and do nothing on the turn.
Brother, do I have a deck for you for set 5? I know you've probably been like fully ingrained in the set 4 meta for the last 3 or 4 weeks prepping for Toronto, but I'm gonna show you to like we'll take it offline, and if you do want to talk later, like we'll definitely talk about it. But I'm gonna show you 2 cards
you
should be playing in set 5
because. Oh yeah, I see everybody was talking about like those kind of cards. I still have my set of Vel, and I have a foil. I opened a foil cow.
We're playing. I'm telling you that the cow is the way. We're playing these. I'm calling these the Bell sisters because Clarabelle and Belle.
I find that amusing.
I find it utterly ridiculous.
There we go. Very nice, Rob. Very.
All these puns are gonna make me have a cow.
These are.
God.
Oh no!
Okay,
more cow,
I heard that. Yeah. So before we go on, because I do want to talk about your deck focus, but first,
I like Steven's. Got to have more cowbell.
Gotta have more cow.
Bell.
Love it.
Very nice.
Good job. There we go.
God, chat is awesome. By the way, chat, live chat. If you all have any questions throughout the show for any of our guests, if you want to hear about Focus's journey or have any questions about his deck, please ask. We like interacting with you also. That is available to you all. If you're watching this on delay, obviously it's not. So you should watch live. All right.
Well, maybe I'm still there and just refreshing because I want to extend the 15 minutes of shame most longer I can.
All right. So I do want to talk a little bit about the meta. Now, this is a weird meta. It was obviously unique for this weekend, but I think it's still fun to look at to see how people teched. And so we'll spend a couple minutes on it. I do want to caveat that what I have here is approximate. The initial day 1 stats are pretty close, and this is what I read on air at the challenge. So they at least give you an idea though of what people brought in, and then the second number in each column is the percentage that made day 2, or the percentage of day 2. What I will say, this is approximate because as I did this really quickly when I got home, and I'm missing 1 deck, so one of those percentages is off by 1, and I don't know which one. So if chat's feeling really squirrely and wants to go on to Ink Decks and figure out which deck is wrong, but this is what I have right here, and these at least are close. Any surprises?
Not really. That's exactly what people, when I tried to talk and ask, was talking about. They said that green still leaving makes like a worse matchup for purple red. So everybody was afraid that purple red was going to be dominant. So like, what's the best deck that counter purple red that maybe green still was like putting a stop? And everybody agreed it was like Still Song. So you expect a lot of Still Song to counter red purple, and probably because Bologna and things like that, and usually a lot of red blue. And people were expecting between 5 to 10% of lemon yellow green, and we got like 9%. So I think it's pretty decent. I was expecting maybe more blue still because people like me are like OTP blue still. Why switch at the last second? It's better to play a deck that you have 500 game under the belt than red purple that usually the best player win the mirror. But the convert rate was pretty good.
Yeah. The other thing I'm surprised about when I'm looking at this, just from personal experience, I didn't see from any table where I was sitting a single red-blue list. So hitting 11% is it doesn't surprise me meta-wise, but it surprised me from my experience because I just did not see it. I would have expected blue steel to be swapped with that. So that does interest me in that.
It is interesting you say that, because on the top table streams, I saw maybe one, and I don't commentate all the games. I commentate about, I don't know, 30-40%, but I didn't commentate any red-blue matchups. And I saw Sapphire Steel all over the top tables. So yeah, also interesting based on my own observation, but yeah, they were there represented.
There were definitely some great pilots on Sapphire Steel. So like this meta breakdown's like pretty close to what I had initially anticipated. I actually placed Amber Emerald a little bit more. I thought it was going to be somewhere between 12 to 14%. Because like it was the one deck that was really unlocked by the Bucky errata. Mm-hmm. So like I know that I had been very, very vocal in the community that, if I had the opportunity to go to Toronto, I myself probably would have played Amber Emerald. I think that the deck was like very, very well positioned with Bucky being gone from the meta. And I think that Amber Emerald being such a bigger percentage of the meta share that like it put Sapphire Steel in a little bit worse position. I think that that's like probably close to one of the worst matchups. Like Bare Necessity, any deck that has Bare Necessities in it is always a beating. If they're able to take the Fishbone Quill out of your hand before you get to play the Quill, you don't get to start ramping. You don't get to start, dropping Tinkerbells on turn 4, which is like where that deck needs to be to like, you have to understand with Sapphire Steel, you're going to play from behind for the majority of the game until you're not playing from behind. But like to not play from behind, like you have to do those big middle to end game things earlier on. And those things are enabled by cards like One Jump Ahead, Fishbone Quill. So like if they snipe it from your hand, like
okay, R&B, I know you're a big fan of One Jump Ahead, but in this meta, Mickey was the best option because of the bare necessity. Half of the time when they go first, you're afraid you get discarded, and sometimes you don't want to quick kill either. So if you're guaranteed to have like Mickey on 3, it saves so much stress. So I think for that specific meta, but I'm a huge One Jump fan. I always been.
I can't play Mickey, man. Even with Bare Necessities in the meta, like here's my thought process on it. Like when I was running Sapphire Steel in set 4, my alternative 2-drops for being on the draw were Mr. Smee and Baboom. Like I'm mulliganing for those specifically when I'm on the draw. When I'm on the play, the most unfair thing you can do is Popsicle One Jump Hiram. Like it's so obnoxious.
Yeah, but it doesn't work that good versus like Red Purple. I think for Red Purple, the Argus / Smee on 2, Mickey on 3 to protect against on King Undisputed later. The Mickey is really good for that. Into like Shenpo, my Shenpo, so they can.
I was playing Shenpo too. Playing Chempo too. The Chempo and Cogsworth is such a crazy Chempo is unkillable. He is an impenetrable wall.
Unbanishable.
I found a super nice combo versus Ember Steel. If you're afraid that they kill your Chempo and you're afraid he's gonna they're gonna how do you call that shift Big Cinderella to kill your Cogsworth, you can play Chempo ready. So if they cannot kill your Chempo with their little minion, but Cinderella cannot kill your Cogsworth because it have to attack the bodyguard even if it's ready. So that was like funny. I almost wanted to try it, but I just want to do a big shout out to one of my almost call it friend from Ottawa who brought the most homemade brew deck that made top 64. It's a red blue, so nobody really put attention, but you can find in top 64. It was like hyper aggro red blue with location base, and he made it to top 64 with that deck. So big shout out to him. I was afraid to tag it all the way because we always keep having the same score, but we never tag each other. But and unfortunately he lost his top 64 because he forget to activate the trigger of Goofy. And the judge tell him that even if it's mandatory, he cannot have it. But
what was his name again? Focus. Let me pull up his deck.
Its name is Jordan. I don't know what's his it's
You said it was
Really?
Ruby Sapphire Hyper Aggro?
yeah.
I gotta see this.
It's
Yeah,
Hold on.
with Lee
One,
Shin
two,
and everything
all
like that.
right. Hold on. Let me.
it's
let
15
me
from the
check it.
bottom, Liam.
Yeah,
on the
I think I
list.
got it.
Yeah, we're just pulling
Thanks.
it onto the other screen so that we can show it.
Yeah.
Like you really want to pass on like
Other way.
the stream, the TV to show his own brew deck that I was working on for like a couple of weeks. So if I can use my window to show that deck, it will be great.
Look at
Oh,
this.
it's got Alice Growing Girl. I'm a fan.
Love that card.
I do too. I've wanted that card to be meta for so long now.
Look at this. What? Yeah, this is this has some spice.
I love this.
This is spicy.
I like just the hero line with the Li Shang and the Ana. That's fun. I really like that. There's a lot of mostly heroes like what Cogsworth
We got
and
Surfer minis again
Lumiere.
too. I'm in. I'm so in.
This is really
Yeah.
fun.
It was a surprise for me, so I cannot comment on anything about that deck, but I just wanted to show it.
Yeah, no, worth a highlight. I'm sure it'll be appearing in quite a few highlight videos here in the next few days. Villain's probably scooped this up already. Yeah, spice. I like it. That's fun. Thanks for the shout out.
Focus, can you sell me on something? I'm sorry, Liam. I didn't mean to interrupt you
ahead,
there.
go ahead.
Can you sell me on the one of Tragic Beast? What?
Yes,
Teach
because
me.
we
Teach
all
me.
have a little bit of sadness inside of us, so we all have to be proud of it and keep it. Okay.
Okay.
Well,
if
I
it's a
love-
rep.
I saw Arlem and a couple of papers on that say, "Oh, you cut the two 4/4 beasts that destroy item, and you put two sad beasts into it." But I'm like, belong item deck one like with a bunch of item, and then you say, "Oh, Ember Still Song is gonna play like flute." And then if I red blue and then mirror matchup, I'm like, there's a bunch of reason to keep the 4/4 beast. Also, it's 4/4, so it doesn't die on Medusa. So I'm like, I have to keep them. So I don't want to cut the two sad beasts to keep the 4/4. But I cannot play 2/2 sad beast because the sad beast it's only good basically on turn like 4 when you run before. After that, you're always scared of Medusa. But it's just because I saw and I know I'm gonna face some lemon lime, so I'm like, maybe that if you ramble a bit, then they cannot Bruno it. You draw some card, so it's most likely for those kind of scenario. Like if you have it early, you play it. Other way, you put it in your ink. Like it's just a $50 ink. And then if you play something else like Still Song later, you got it, you play it, but you don't want to play it versus Still Song because it gets Zeus. So I almost want to cut it there, but everybody was strong favor of it. So I'm like, yeah, just keep it. We'll see. Like I said, I'm like Tamato. Okay, I'm not the best player. This is not the best deck list. But if I cannot be the best, I want to be the shiniest. Okay. So
Yeah.
Feel like
It's
you're
so shiny.
Man after my own heart.
R&B's heart.
That's
Yeah.
true.
Man after my
Yep.
own heart.
Yeah.
Love windmill
Um,
slamming enchanteds into your ink. It feels wonderful.
yeah, I've played
So-
some people who Ember still with Alma, like his name is Locke, who had like some Robin Hood enchanted and like I'm gonna ink Robin Hood. I'm like, nice. I'm like, I'm not saying nice that you inking Robin Hood. I'm just saying nice card.
Yeah.
So yes, R&B, do you have any question about the deck list?
No, I mean, it looks pretty standard. Like I definitely saw that there were like a couple of cards that made it back into deck lists for this specific meta. Since Emerald Steel, Bucky discard wasn't necessarily a problem. And I know that was a good matchup for us historically,
Yeah.
but it had some lines that just no deck was going to be able to beat. Like, so your list and then Jonathan Lamb's list were like the two lists that really kind of stuck out to me. Like Jonathan Lamb ended up going with the McDuck Manners.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
he went with the McDuck Manners, and I remember there being a situation where he's playing against some Ruby deck, and like the Ruby deck just like B preps him, and he's like, cool, slam 2 McDuck Manners, and the Ruby player was just like, whoops, like why did I do this?
Yeah, because
So, like-
because they take like Hercules, but Hercules does nothing to Manner. So yeah, makes sense.
So like that one, and then like seeing Gaston come back into the deck, like I always liked Gaston. Its downside is that it was uninkable. It's hard to justify like which one is better. Like, is the additional card more relevant for Gaston, or is, you know, playing the warded aerial that gets to quest for 5 better? Like, because that's the slot that it's really fighting for. And
oh yeah, for sure. I switched like thousands of time, but you know, when you're saying you're going to do nine round switch, I base everything on consistency the most I can. Say the guy who have 65 cards in his deck, but I base the most as I can. And like Gaston can maybe give you the extra card that you need as Ariel. Other player may play more item than you. And then you know it doesn't provide you value for sure. As Gaston, it's a 4/4, doesn't get Medusa. It's always a good time target either way. And if you want to play against Limit Lime, usually you want to maybe like have a singer on board, then you can scry with Gaston and be able to sing grab your sword.
He was only playing 1 Lucky Dime. Oh my heart!
Apparently,
oh my heart!
Oh yeah,
he's playing
and 1 Tamatoa.
And 1 Tamatoa.
1 Tamatoa.
You just had really lucky draws.
Yeah, it's the McDuck manners. That.
Shot to the heart. Jonathan Lamb's to blame.
So yeah, and then the only thing I was wondering is like people say maybe just play 2 Shampoo and maybe just play 2 Let It Go. And you can see it. This is my final top 4 versus Red Blue. The Sing Only World, hoping for Let It Go. I did that play because I know I had 3 in my deck. Knowing that you have 2 in your deck, you're like you're not sure if that's like more rolling dice. But with 3, you're kind of you know, happy with that. So that saved me. And 3 Shampoo turned out to be just so good against Ember Steel Song. And I didn't get versus the other deck.
Yeah.
Even against the Ruby decks, like just putting something in the way that Maui can't get through.
Oh yeah. And then it's, you know, with Smee, you play Popsicle, you quest with me, then you play Gaston, you break Popsicle so you can keep going with Smee, and then they have to go through your Shampoo. And then if you compare, like, it's so funny, like, you know, the cow bovin protector, something like that from set 5. It's a 4 ink 1/7, and it doesn't have bodyguard. So my joke was like, Shampoo has to be OP because you have 3 more attack and bodyguard for only 1 more ink.
It's got to be broken.
It's got to be broken.
That's great. So this is what happens when you put 2 Sapphire Steel players together in a room. I was talking to somebody this weekend. It was another Sapphire Steel player, and he made the comment. I was talking about the meta breakdown and all that, and he made the comment. He's like, more than any other deck, the Sapphire Steel players, we're like a club. Like, we're tight knit. We all message each other, and we're like, you know, the Sapphire Steel gang. And we're talking about different Sapphire Steel players, and then I told him, you know, RMB just said on Twitter that he disassembled his Zoolander deck.
I did it for a good reason, though. Like,
you know, it still crushed some hearts.
Charity.
You know,
but okay, so I'm telling you that this deck is just Sapphire Steel with better removal and a one-sided Whole New World. This card is a one-sided Whole New World.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
Oh,
the play patterns are exactly the same.
We'll do. I mean, when you're ready. See, I know you're brewing for like Vegas and other stuff, so I know you're, you know, publicly you're keeping some things close to the vest. But when you're ready, we'll talk.
I've been jamming games in Labyrinth's Discord server like the last like 4 days in a row, just jamming cam games with anyone in the community that wants to play.
I'm gonna bring in my puppy deck.
It's just fun to play any deck that you
Come
have.
Liam built a puppy deck last week. It was, and then put Dalmatian ears on, and it was just
awful.
classically.
It was for a video.
You know what? I will take it. Well, no, you told me I have to paint your face.
Yeah, you
too.
have to take my face.
Can we just do one costume where I don't have to paint your face?
Nope. Go big or go home. Before I do want to, I'm going to ask Focus a couple more questions about your journey. But before I do, I do want to ask Rob, what did you? I don't think I got what you piloted. What did you bring in?
I brought my Amethyst Emerald deck.
Yes.
With a couple of little techs in it that I was messing around with. I was using, because I am scared of you Blue Steel players, I was running Wildcat, which does 2 different things. It takes care of opposing Diablos, which I like, without sacrificing my own Diablo and like when any Emerald matchup. But also I can once or twice, if you put it in turn 3 and then you destroy their Fishbone Quill, sad times abound. That has allowed that deck to at least do better against blue steel for me, because I find that to be a very difficult matchup for that deck. And the other card that I play that everybody tells me I'm wrong, and I probably am, and you can tell me if I am, R&B, please. I run Cusco, the 5 cost from set 1, just 2 of them, because it closes out games. Because if they do not have Be Prepared, guess what? I'm turning for 3, bud.
I'm gonna do an inside joke, but Cusco is bad because you can just kit it and bounce it back into your hand.
It's got ward.
Yes, that's the joke.
That's the joke.
I
just
dives to Maui, and I'm like, yeah, but it's got 3 lore at that point.
How did you guys reacted when I think that they tried to kit like the Muse or something like that?
Oh, it was the we don't talk about Bruno on the Muse, and then they had to they had to like hit their own aerial. Oh no.
Yeah, that was the joke about the word. Like saying that in top ladder when people are so stressed and they're like, oh, why did I did that misplay?
Yeah, she was super stressed out. Like,
I think we all are, but that was sad.
If I understand right, to catch everybody up, somebody played we don't talk about Bruno to target the Cusco, realized it wasn't a legal target, it had been played. So
the Muses.
The Muses.
But
they were targeting their opponent's Muses, and then like they're like, oh well, I'll take that back, and they're like, well, you played it.
Ink has been spent. Cards on the table.
Target one of your things. I think she ended up targeting her own Muses. She was like, all right, it's fine, no big deal.
Yeah.
Yeah, but sometimes target like that, it's funny because when I play Beast versus Red Blue to destroy the Quill, I kind of like pointed at Irem for 2 seconds. I don't know why, and then I just like Quill, so you can see it on the replay. And we make a joke on our opponent, like, obviously I'm gonna beast your Irem.
No.
I think she still won that game though. Anyway,
she did.
Like,
she did win that game.
She was so far ahead in that game. She could have sudden chilled herself and still would have won that game.
Was this on stream this weekend? I'm missing. Oh, it was. I didn't ask this one.
I think it was.
Game?
Yeah, it was. Okay. I think it was Judy's game. She was the one that was piloting Amber Emerald.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It was.
Let's take a second since we're talking about Judy. Judy is the first woman to qualify for North American Continentals.
I'm so happy. I'm so excited.
That's
like
awesome.
Awesome.
Need that. Love it.
I'm happy that we can use that transition to talk about how skillful she was, because I don't want to play about only that mistake. That was like a joke. I did way more or mistake, but like but I faced a lot of very good players at either sex, either ages. But I know that in Lorcana, the representation of girl or women, I don't know what's the correct word in English for no, but it's higher than the other DCG, so that's a good point. It's a good starting point. But the more we can average like a better representation, the better it was. And I think that a player like Judy helped out for those kind of things.
Yeah. Speaking of which, since we have one of the community organizers for Love to Lore, the team, one of the teams that Judy is a part of in the green room, let's bring her in real quick. It's Carolyn. Carolyn, you said we're shouting out Judy, we're shouting out Love to Lore. I thought I'd bring you in, and I don't know, what you have to say?
It's actually great timing. So we're super proud of Judy. She is the first player of a marginalized gender to qualify to continentals on either continent, as far as we're aware, which is pretty exciting. We do expect that, we'll have a couple of other folks there in other capacities. Imogen has been the head judge over in the EU, and we've had Sarah and Ariel judging here in North America as well. But to have somebody qualify to continentals has been absolutely huge. She actually was very shy about going on camera. She in Dallas declined because she was afraid it would make her too nervous and would affect her play. And then they asked her for top 64, but there was I think her opponent had like sleeves that they couldn't put on camera or something. Mm-hmm. So they skipped her, and she was like, oh, phew, dodged that. Mm-hmm. And then they came back to her for top 32, and she decided to go ahead and do it. And she fully chalks that misplay up to the pressure of being on camera.
Yeah,
it just adds an extra layer.
I believe there's another woman that qualified for top 16 continental, because my opponent for the Rapunzel mat was she was a she. So I believe there's 2 that qualify. Or
I'm
are
gonna
we?
have to look that up.
And it's
Really?
called.
Awesome.
Yeah. My opponent for top 16 going to top 8 was playing green yellow, and we check in, and she's a lovely person. I think it's Pooh something.
Yeah, that's her.
That's Judy.
That's her. That's
Oh.
Judy.
That is
Yeah.
Judy. Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, I make-
Pudding.
Pudding.
Yeah, Pudding
Yeah,
is
okay.
her melee
Now,
name.
now I
Yeah,
feel bad because I okay.
that's okay.
No,
No,
that's great.
that's-
we're-
that's
That's
great.
the problem with Melee.
Awesome.
They don't give you the full name.
Actual
and,
name.
Yeah.
It's also
And-
worth noting in this tournament, though, we had, I think, 4 women that I'm aware of qualify for top 64, which is also
Yes.
huge. So
As what we believe it's for, at least at our last count, and that's the most that we're aware of at any Disney Lorcana Challenge so far. So we love to see that representation increasing. We're hoping, as many people as we are sending to Vegas, that Vegas will top that. But we will see.
I hope
Yeah.
I don't have to play Judy in Vegas.
Yeah.
One quick note, anybody who's trying to sign up for Seattle, if you haven't been keeping track of the time, that window is opening up here in 7 minutes-ish. Get in the
Don't miss
queue.
it.
Hardish.
If you're watching right now, I've seen it open. I think I've seen it open early before. So get ready if you're looking to sign up for Seattle.
Yeah.
And,
Open your open your windows on your other monitor.
Yes,
your
and
phone.
I highly recommend it to use the browser and not the app, because last time it's the phone that always lag and never the browser. So go ahead and use your browser. Friendly trick that app may be saving a lot of trouble knowing that before.
Yeah, it's some of these things sell out quick. So if you're watching this on a
Yes.
delay, I hope that you got your Seattle tickets if you wanted.
Fingers crossed for all of you hopeful competitors out there.
But so let's switch gears a little bit, because honestly, I could talk to, R&B, Rob, Focus, you all are fantastic players, and I could talk to you all night about deck breakdowns and meta, and we could be here for like 3 hours. But it is post-challenge. People are tired, so I do want to move on to our next segment real quick, because I know at least one of you is probably hitting the end of the wick, burning. I don't know.
Did somebody have a big weekend? I don't know.
Did somebody win a golden Mickey?
Somebody win a house payment?
What? Oh, by the way, what number did you get, Focus?
220.
220.
Add that to the
That's
list.
a good number.
It's not a terrible number. I think Knive is
R&B's like opening his Excel spreadsheet now.
Yes. Cedric already asked me that.
I already got Focus's number.
Oh, of course you did.
R&B, I might be hitting you up for those numbers pretty soon. Brandon and I are working on a little data project to
Cost you about tree fitty.
Canadian.
Canadian, of course. Yeah, B Squared and I are working on a little data project to make it easier to see at a glance who has made how many day twos and who has how many golden Mickeys and etc.
Yeah, and that removed me a lot of stress. Playing for a golden Mickey, knowing that my opponent already have some, I'm like, I don't feel like I'm stealing for you a golden Mickey. That helped a lot.
Nice.
That's a fair point. All right, let's move on to our next segment real quick before we have to say goodbye to someone. And Carolyn, you're already in here, but I'm playing your intro anyway. It just doesn't feel right unless we do it. Carolyn, so Carolyn is our resident quiz master here at the Illumiteers. We run quizzes every Monday and in the Illumiteer Discord. And we have pins in production.
If you promise another person a pin,
they're in production. So we do have Illumiteers trivia pins.
We did approve the proof, so that it is actually
in production now.
Close. Closer.
Happening.
Yeah. So we'll get them eventually, and we will allow one person on the stream, except R&B, to win a trivia pin If you haven't won
I
one
need to
already, RB,
close
you have to
down
come on for a
everything.
special trivia session yourself. So
Mm.
between Focus and Rob, you all have to decide
He
who
did
wins
win
it.
one.
Oh, he
Wait,
already
do
won
you
one?
not have a list?
I did win one, but he doesn't
it's
win anymore.
So I
It's
have
okay.
a list that I started keeping later, and so I'm just counting on people telling me if they earned one or not. I trust people. So
That sounds
RB
dangerous.
because you already had one. Anyway, but so and for this, here's the rules for this one. R&B is too good for this game. So R&B is going to be the phone a friend for these questions. So we can use you once, R&B, between Aaron and I and Rob and Focus. Carolyn, what questions do you have for us this evening?
So today, in celebration of our first Canadian DLC, is Canada Day. All of our questions will be Canada themed. So
that
We're gonna
seems
get like
fair.
Mandalorian themed or something like that.
there is a Star Wars question.
I feel like he has an unfair advantage, but that's all right.
To be fair,
you're not competing against each other.
This is
no, fair. That's
I'm
fair.
a Quebecer.
Oh, then I am happy. I thought my confusion there.
Yes.
Let's
and then,
go.
One of you. So I only have so many pins, and so one of you can win one. You'll have to decide who wins, and then the other one can come back anytime and compete for a pin.
Perfect.
So it's not
I'll let the pin to Rob because I have that awesome map. That's the only price I have left. Did you know? Fun fact: if you win a $2,000 mat, they don't give you something to protect it.
I do. They give it to you in a manila envelope.
You feel like a $6.99 like plastic tube would be.
Well, they give you the Cinderella and the Rapunzel in the penny sleeve, not into the top loader. So I don't know. But I just want to do a big shout out. I was doing a joke about that, but all the staff over there were lovely. Everybody was patient, was fun, was there for you. So that's not on them. They were amazing. But yeah.
All right.
All right.
Awesome. Good shout out. And I do want to say R&B is trying to get a ticket to Seattle, so you need to go try to get a ticket to Seattle.
Best of luck to you.
I'm sorry. I love you guys.
May
the force be with you.
Good luck.
All right. Okay, so now you lost your lifeline. You all, Aaron and I will be lifelines. All right, Carolyn. And the chat is our lifeline. The chat, if you know.
Yes. Chat is always there for you guys. All right, so question number 1 should be relatively easy. I think Aaron and Liam know the answer to this one. What Pixar film is set in Toronto? Focus, if you know it, say it.
Yeah, go for it, Focus. You got it.
Yeah, it's Red Alert.
It's what? I'm sorry?
It's Red Alert or something like that.
Oh.
It's red.
It's I'm sure it has a different name in France or in French in Quebec. It's Turning Red.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I love
with the big red monster. Yeah. It's Pixar. So
well done.
I know the movie and just bad with name.
Okay.
Yeah, different names.
Sorry about it.
Boots and cats.
All right. No, you're
cats
fine.
And boots and cats and.
Okay.
You two love that movie, don't you?
I love
we love
the
that
heck
movie.
out of that movie.
Okay.
All right.
All right. Walt Disney Animation Studios is known for its fantasy stories, but its first foray into sci-fi was led by beloved Canadian actor Michael J. Fox. Which film was the first Walt Disney Animation Studios sci-fi film?
Walt Disney, you said animation?
Mm-hmm.
It's animation studio, so it's not necessarily animated?
No, it is animated.
Oh, it is. Okay,
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
I know there's like a hybrid, like Mary Poppins.
So what's the definition of sci-fi?
Science fiction.
Yeah, like space usually, or
Michael J. Fox, so it can't be that old. Like
animated?
Earlier forays.
That's a good question.
There's only one sci-fi movie that comes to mind that's animated, I feel like.
There's definitely more than one.
Okay, well,
Crater Planet, just for fun, is the only one I know.
That's a good guess. It is not Treasure Planet. Treasure Planet was a year after.
Oh,
same genre for sure.
Same years.
Oh,
is it? So it have to be in space?
No, it doesn't have to be in space.
Oh, so a year before, like Simba or something like that. Wasn't that before Treasure Planet?
Atlantis.
Yeah, there he is.
Yeah.
Good point. Good one.
Atlantis.
I was like, who did Michael J. Fox do the voice for? And then
Milo. Yeah.
Yep.
Good one.
All right.
Love
All
Michael
right.
J. Fox.
Canadian
We're doing good.
superstar Keanu Reeves voiced what Pixar character?
Wait, I
What?
feel like I know this.
Oh.
And none of them in French. Is that a good instrument?
You get a pass. You get a pass, good sir.
Oh, that's oh man, yeah.
Oh man.
What did Keanu Reeves voice?
He
Such
did
an
a whole
iconic
bunch of press
voice.
about it.
Come on, chat.
Yeah, that we're gonna need the chat on this one.
Yeah.
Mm.
Oh, this is
Mr. Anderson.
oddly enough, I have 2 CDs left in my life, and one of them is the Matrix soundtrack.
Yes.
This soundtrack is bonkers.
Incredible.
It's so good.
The other, oddly enough, the other one is Titan AE.
I have that
Also-
soundtrack too. Shut
Also well done.
up. Wow.
Soundtrack, right?
I did not get that right.
All right. I don't know. Where's the?
I do not know this one.
There's
We have an
there's
answer
an
from the
answer in chat.
Dude,
Yeah, Joe.
boom.
Do you know who that is?
Yes, it's a character voiced by the same
Keanu
actor.
Reeves.
Canadian-born actor Keanu Reeves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is Toy Story 4.
Yes, it is
Yeah.
from Toy Story 4.
Oh, Duke, isn't that the teddy bear? No.
Is he
No,
the
Duke
Daredevil
is-
guy?
Yes, Duke is
Oh
the
yeah,
Daredevil guy.
with the Barbie joke and the Ken joke. Okay, I got it.
Yes.
Yes, Duke Kaboom is indeed voiced by Keanu Reeves. Chat came through for y'all on that one.
Thank you,
Yeah.
chat.
Shout out to Holly and Lorcana, and who else scored a ticket? Questing for Lore scored tickets to Seattle. Great.
Congratulations.
All right. I feel like
Question-
we barely got that question. We'll count it. Okay, next.
All right, question number
Counts.
4.
It counts.
Mickey Mouse Club in the 90s grew many stars that are now ubiquitous in our pop culture lexicon, but only one of them was Canadian.
The Canadian
Which one?
I don't believe Justin Bieber was a Disney kid child, so I cannot really say Justin
He
Bieber.
was not. That was a
Wait.
little too late.
Canadian.
So wait, these are kids.
These
who
are
in-
Mickey Mouse Club kids
Oh.
from
Oh.
the mid 90s. One of them was Canadian.
Amanda Bynes.
Nope, that was Nickelodeon. That was a little later.
Yeah,
Ha!
Disney.
Haha! I do think I know it. I just wanted to confirm that the person I think it was
You
is
can't Look it
Canadian.
up. You have to guess before.
I guessed in my mind.
I guessed in your mind. So that's like silent.
No, but I specifically am right. I don't actually know if they were in Mickey Mouse Club. I feel like they were, but I do know they are Canadian.
Ryan Gosling.
It is Ryan Gosling.
Oh,
This has nothing to do with the chat, okay? I did not read the chat. I did not sit my good friend ABBC. No,
The chat is allowed. This is a lifeline that we allow here. So
I was
we allow
doubting
chat failing.
myself because of Ryan Reynolds. I was like, surely both of the Ryans cannot be from Canada.
They surely are.
both
And
of the
apparently they were.
Ryans.
So
Yes,
okay.
but only Ryan Gosling was in Mickey Mouse Club. Ryan
Yes,
Reynolds
I
was
knew-
not.
Yes, I was like, I'm like 95% sure
Oh.
Ryan Gosling was in Mickey Mouse Club. I was like, I feel like he's from Canada, but both of the Ryans can't be from Canada, and they are both from Canada.
Canada has some really good Ryans.
Apparently.
I have a sample size of 2 that I am aware of, and they're
And
both
so
incredible,
far- Primo.
yeah, yeah. More Canadian Ryans, please.
All right, your last question. Had to get a Star Wars question in here.
Oh, okay.
Which Star Wars lead actor is Canadian?
What is
Oh, wait, this one I know.
the guy who
Wait,
played
this one I
Kylo
totally
Ren's
know.
name?
I wanted to marry them when I was younger, just so that should give it away. You know who it is.
Oh, I know who it is.
Liam's face.
Leo got the best lifeline with that one too.
Yes, and I know exactly who it is.
He knows who I was
I
obsessed with when I was
know-
a kid.
Here's how I know, because I'm telling a story. Here's how I know. So this person was at a convention.
God.
We're
at a convention.
There was a weekend in the era of COVID where there was a convention up in Bell County, like an hour this way, and then a convention in San Antonio, like 2 hours this way. Same weekend. And I was into Decipher Star Wars cards at the time, and I wanted to get them signed. So I had a Darth Maul lightsaber and another character card
This
that I
isn't
signed
one
up.
of them, by the way.
Oh no,
No.
Never
But
mind.
it
Forget
was.
my story.
This person was at a convention that we went to, and we considered waiting in line for like 3 hours to meet them.
Oh, I thought it was.
And then I told you I wouldn't do that.
So it's
to you.
not Ewan McGregor.
It's not.
No,
No,
it's
Ewan
not Ewan
McGregor is Scottish. Leo.
I mean, close. Very
Is his
close.
name Ryan?
No.
No, his name is not
If his name
Ryan.
isn't Ryan,
Now
he
I know
doesn't
who it
come
is.
from
Ewan
Canada.
Now I
McGregor
know
in
who it
Ewan
is.
Star
McGregor,
Wars.
Ewan McGregor is the right era of Star Wars.
Yeah,
though.
yeah, yeah.
It is prequels era.
All right. The
Yeah.
end of the story was like I was sick with COVID, and Aaron had to go to both conventions for me and stand in line.
So are you talking about the actor that played Anakin or what?
Yes.
Hayden
Hayden Christensen.
Christensen.
Hayden
Oh.
Christensen.
But
Such a dreamboat.
he hates sand.
He
He
does.
doesn't
hate
like
I mean,
sand.
It makes sense that he would be from Canada then, where there is no sand.
Yeah.
Oh,
But
I can't get enough sand.
but there's also in Mandalorian there's I have to Google his name because I don't want to like say it wrong. Is Paul Son Young? He play Uncle Hero in the
Yes.
new Avatar on Netflix. He had some role in the Mandalorian. He's played like a guard. So and he's Canadian and proud to be. So
Yes, he is. He's pretty fantastic. I like him
I
a
can't
lot.
believe
I
you thought
follow him
Ewan
on
McGregor
Twitter.
was from Canada.
But he's not a
Yeah.
lead necessarily.
No,
Well,
no,
you said you had a
no.
crush
He's
on
a
him.
lead
You
in
had
my
a
heart.
crush on
Okay,
Ewan
if
McGregor,
you
like,
if
can't
you,
go off, so,
if you
like,
put
you're going
this
to meet him
like
there.
10-second scene on repeat, it become like an hour. So it's technically like a lead
Technically.
Anyway,
for sure.
I know you like a lot of Star Wars actors, Aaron.
I had
Yes.
all of Star Wars Episode 2 memorized, like the entire thing. I could just sit there and recite the entire movie to you. Yes, I had a problem.
Star Wars 2 of all the Star
I know,
Wars.
I know. In hindsight, I know. But you know what? It got me into Star Wars, so you're
Mhm.
welcome.
That's
There
fair.
you go.
Yeah.
We
That's
all
fair.
have we all get into the hobby,
We've
different
all
ways.
made mistakes before.
all
I
choose-
like
we all
Star
Sometimes
Wars
it takes a
too.
Ryan, sometimes it takes a Ewan, sometimes it takes a Hayden.
Hayden.
Sometimes it takes both. Honestly, it's just
Oh dear. All right.
it was that little braid, behind. No, I'm joking. Anyway.
Hate sand. It's everywhere. To be fair, sand is everywhere, and it's coarse and rough. And
Anytime we go to the beach, I turn to Liam and I'm like, it's just so coarse and rough. Liam's like,
My
"Oh,
husband
man."
does the same thing.
it's everywhere.
What sand is so rough? I guess
don't know.
sandpaper sand.
I don't know.
We lived in Washington State sand. It's like rocks.
Oh, just like tiny little pebbles.
Yeah.
I don't know. West
But I
Coast.
understand, yeah, you can have a crush on that actor because how many times people just went on top and say it's over, have the high ground.
Yeah, right. I have the high ground. Anyway. All right. Hey, so we did say we'd keep you for an hour. It's an hour and 10 focus, although we did bring you in a little late. So I do want to ask before we go, we have one more segment to get to. We're going to bring in a couple folks and talk about their new podcast. But before we do that, I know you've had a long weekend and we've kept you longer than we said we would. But I want to ask, do you have any closing thoughts on Toronto? And I guess as a two-part question, the second part of that is, what advice would you give to anybody who's looking to compete in a Lorcana Challenge, whether it's their first challenge or it's one they're hoping to top?
Yes, for sure. Second part is gonna be easier for me because the first part, I can release like a good player on a big tournament, not expecting nothing because good player doesn't mean nothing. You're surrounded by really good player. So I just hope my best. I had insane luck sometime on my first draft. I beat somebody and he told me it's better be lucky than good. And it turned out I was lucky on a lot of point. Sometimes my opponent played 3 Ariel and didn't get a single song on the Ariel. I dodged most likely all the red purple they was there. So even no chance to lose 2-0 on that point. Going top 32, I got insane seed because all my win were most of my win was in this Swiss round was just good player that make it to day 2. So my seed was super good. So I always went first on the best of 3. best of 3 going first with blue still give you insane advantage, and I face like Still Song. My first Still Song player didn't play the big Cinderella, so you're like Cogsworth's always safe, help a lot. You have to recognize that option because when you're not sure, and now that you have the deck list, you can see that you have to switch your play and say, now I'm not afraid of that card. Now I don't baboom the small Cinderella, only the queen. They never got the insane queen castle only world going second, going first versus me. So that's another lucky thing. So I have to like every star was aligned on that. So all I needed was like not choke, not break, not do some silly mistake, and just ride the terrain. So I never expected to go that far. My dream was to go on day 2, and after that, play one game in a game. And the cosplay was to make it like unreal and make it play like a sketch. Because if you're too anxious, then you're gonna do mistake. But if you're doing like if you're a part of a bigger thing and you're just a part of it, you're basically in the costume. You're not. It's not real money. It's monopoly money at this point. It helped a lot. Stress. It's fear. It's only fear to do something bad, and you're doing something bad only because of stress. So it's a really bad circle to be in. I have a white ball every time, and I have to put my hand somewhere between every play because I had to drink water. I drink 2 liters of water in like one day for sure. I go to the bathroom 15-20 times in 2 days, and there's only like one bathroom for like a 2,000 person, so that was like kind of ridiculous. So do your best, take the deck that you like, so at least just play like you have no regret. So because if you do like if you bring something because you think it's gonna be the best and you don't perform well, you're gonna have regret. If you do something that you like, then if it doesn't perform well, you're not really gonna have regret because you're gonna have a bunch of fun and meet some awesome people and meet some almost some friend that I'm happy to see next time I have some event. I see people I'm doing side event. I have fun with them, doing some draft. So just the event was awesome. Vendor was good. They were gentle. They were there for you. They asked questions. Everybody, the staff was awesome. And if I can give any advice, is don't hesitate to reach other player, ask them if they have more experience than you on the event, what to do, where to go, where to sit. Everybody will be happy to answer those questions. And for every misplay or question, don't hesitate to just tell your opponent that you're gonna call a judge, because it can be maybe sound rude to just like shout judge super loud. But you say, I call judge because I have a quick question, and you call judge, and judge are there for you to answer your question before you do your play, so you don't have to do misplay. I did one big misplay and I regret it. Really, it's not misplay, it's like a warning. I really need like a grab your sword, so I guessed on to get my grab your sword. And before I finished drawing my 3 card, the second card was grab your sword, so I just insta sing it before like finishing the Gaston ability. It doesn't technically change a lot of that, but because of that, I had a card extra in my hand, and I knew which card was because I had another grab your sword in my hand, and if I had before, I can just cast it. So I know I don't have that card, but my opponent called a judge, and they ruled that we have to put my 3 card and remove one at random. So that kind of favored me because I kept the other grab your sword for later. As if we could have talked and my opponent realized that I didn't have the grab your sword, I could just have discard that card. So, but that's the ruling. That's the official ruling from the judge. You have no choice. It said that random doesn't favor anybody. But that's the ruling. So that was my only regret because I feel bad doing that play. Just not bad enough to concede the victory because technically the first grab your sword was the one that I was supposed and I win because of the first one. But my opponent was super it didn't complain, say I'm sorry. Because I was the one that say I have too many cards and shouldn't have that card. So we were on the same level. But that's my biggest regret of the whole weekend doing that play. But everything else was great. So just do your best and hope. We don't have to always try to win. And sometimes when it happens, it's just a bonus. And I didn't expect that it happened. Maybe I will not perform well next event on Toronto. I'll do my best. I'm a good player. I need data. I need stats. I need to do a lot of game to know what's good, what's not, what I should good. That's the kind of thing I'm good. but I need to have a good circle of friends now that I don't have Pixelborn, because since Pixelborn is dead, I only do like 5 games a day if I have the time, if people wants. As Pixelborn, I'm doing 50 games, 50 at least, like a day if I really need it. So yeah, every player that want to do competitive at the end of like set 5, doing set 6 for Continental, I'll need a lot of practice players. So everybody want to jump in and do some game, it'll be a pleasure.
Well, you heard it here. Focus needs people to play with.
Yeah.
So, I do too, so I might take you up on that, especially before Vegas. Well, thank you so much for this. This was such a treat. Do you have a way that people can follow you on social media or connect with you?
Yes, well, on Discord, PHOQC, if you want to talk to me like that. I don't have a pro player or something like that, because I have my own T-shirt with my name, but it was only for people to recognize me. I don't know if I ever reach a team, because I don't want the pressure to perform, because I don't perform well on that pressure. But if they want to part of something, I put no pressure for sure. But at the end of the day, it's good to see just a random player that really loved the game and is good at the game just because I love the game, doing well, and not because I try to find that as a job. For me, it's not the job. It's not an opportunity to make money. There's the people that are better than me. That's their opportunity, and I'm glad for them. And I wish them best of luck, and that they will represent us pro that world. I don't see my place there, but I didn't see my place in top 4 so well.
And yet here you are. This is the way. If I could play you out to the Mandalorian theme song, I would.
Alas, copyright.
Thanks so much for joining us. Right? I know, that's the problem. I almost queued it up, and then I'm like, now I'll get struck with that.
Yeah.
But thank you so much, folks. This was a treat, and I hope we get to connect again on another project. And you're welcome back here on Monday night anytime.
Perfect. Thanks a lot for the invitation. It was a pleasure to meet you all.
Congrats again.
Congratulations.
Thanks.
Rob, I don't know about you, but I could talk to him all night about lines, and
he just has such an understanding of if you're grinding 50 games a night, sure, you're going to get all those little ins and outs, but it's like a language for him. And I don't want to use jealous because that has like a negative connotation, but I admire that people can just dive that deep into a deck and really understand the ins and outs of it, and obviously come up with a really great performance. So it was great to speak with him, and he's really a truly amazing player. Glad to have met him.
Yeah, no, I couldn't agree more, and I loved his insights for players coming in and enjoy yourself and wear cosplay. I recall Brendan DeCandio's Peter Pan cosplay from Atlanta, and I was like, that's good advice. But anyway, I don't want to be on too much longer because everybody's tired after a long weekend, but we do have one very other very important segment to get to. What anybody who's watched us or interacted with Aaron, I know, is that part of our mission at the Illumiteers is to connect people with other content creators, other forms of content, podcasts, channels, etc., because everybody has different content that they resonate with, and so we're all about highlighting other great content out there. And one of them is a brand new podcast that launched last week, Carolyn?
2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago. The weeks all blend together. So I'm going to bring in the hosts of this incredible podcast, Ladies Who Lore. Carolyn, of course, you're one of them. One of the Illumiteers here. And then Lauren and Illumiter Cass.
Hey, y'all.
Hi.
Welcome to Monday night. Sorry it's so late. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
So tell us about your project.
Yeah, so we had been talking about starting a podcast for months at this point.
Mm-hmm.
And we wanted to do one specifically from a women's perspective.
Mm-hmm.
And I think what really kicked us into doing it was the end of Live Laugh Lorcana. It really inspired us to try and fill that space. And so that's why we're in the game. Do one of you want to tell us what the game's about?
Sure. So Ladies Who Lore is a podcast from the three of us looking at the competitive, casual, and creative angles of the game. So we're sort of coming at it from a wide variety of perspectives that you might approach Lorcana from, that you might, that might be your particular lane in the game. And we wanted to cover all the lanes because women belong in all the lanes, period.
Yes, we do.
I completely agree. I mean, of course, everybody agrees. And one of the things that I was struck by in as I was at the Lorcana challenges, and particularly in Toronto, because it was something I was paying attention to, is if you go to a Lorcana event, compared to I think a lot of other TCG events, particularly I won't say other names, but other TCG events, the demographics of the event are a lot different in Lorcana. So many more, women and marginalized genders are participating in, at least in the main event, in the side events. But I am struck, and we talked a lot about Judy. Hats off to her being the first woman to make the North American Championship. But we still seem to have there's something going on where we're not seeing the same proportion making the top cut of these events, and that's something that I know you all are working on. And so I don't know, just every different piece of content where women can connect with other women and find a home in the game, I think it's amazing.
Yeah, and as much as we'd love for women to be making top cut at equal rates to men, we have to be honest, we're starting from a deficit. The women in Magic and Yu-Gi-Oh! And Pokemon are so much lower that we don't have this big influx from other games. And even at a younger age, there was no motivation 15 years ago to push girls into this kind of game. I think that's fixing a lot now, so we just need to wait for this generation to grow up. But while we wait for that generation to grow up, we need to be pushing too, so they have someone to look up to.
Yeah. So you're sort of doing both at the same time in Love to Lore, such that we have the competitive team that we are supporting, and that's not just adult players; that's also junior players as well. So Dana Fisher, Riley Hostler, and Kyla are all going to be members of the Love to Lore team, and we will be covering their journeys on our podcast. It is the flagship podcast of the Love to Lore community, so the first, but certainly not the only.
Well, the only right now, but not the last.
Yes.
What could you guys tell me to do or advise me to do so I can help perpetuate this for you guys as just another person wanting to play with as many possible people as I can?
A big thing you can do is just support us by amplifying our voice. So once Liam shows you how to work Twitter, just make sure whenever you see us, you retweet us and you push us forward.
I will do that I will learn that for that reason now. I don't care about for my reason. I'm for your reason now. But you still got to teach me, Liam. I'm sorry.
Yeah, just repost everything I post on the official Twitter. You'll be good.
Deal. I will do that.
So amplifying voices is definitely one thing. And also sticking up for the women in your community.
Yes.
And in the Lorcana community at large. So if you see a new woman or a new person of a marginalized gender come into your LGS, not sure what they're doing, kind of looking around I don't know what I'm supposed to do here. What's going on? How do I sign in for League, whatever, make sure that they get to where they're going, make sure they have a good time, and make sure that they are supported such that they continue playing and can develop in the game.
I'm actually very proud to say that my LGS group is actually more women than men.
Yes.
We have an average of 18-ish each Wednesday when we do it, and there are 10 women to 8 men. And
that's fantastic.
It had nothing to do with it, but I do support it, and I love every one of them. They're all fantastic. I've learned so many things from everybody in that group, and I'm just so happy to have them. And actually, my wife pointed out, because I was showing her pictures that I was taking, she says, wow, there's like a lot of women there. I said, I know, isn't it great? She's like, yeah, I really like that. There's kids there. There's older people. I say older, that is relative term. I feel like I'm probably older than all of you. I don't. It's just so exciting to see a game that invites literally children of all ages and children of all spectra. It's fantastic, and I only have my example, but I do love that for the first time, and I've played 7 different games. This is the first time that there are more women than there are men in this. I think it's fantastic.
Yeah. And I'll piggyback off of what Caroline said, that it's really important that you are welcoming and invite women into the space, but doing so in a way that doesn't disrespect their knowledge. Like, you shouldn't assume they don't know what they're doing.
Of course.
But you should say, if you need any help, I can, point you in the right direction. Not, let me show you how to do this.
Right.
Yeah.
No mansplaining.
Yeah, coming from a place of assistance, not what is the word I'm looking for? Commandeering the conversation or the situation. Yeah, not coddling, not commandeering. Treat her as an equal.
Of course.
Yeah.
Treat her better than an equal. But still, like, because you might not go to any random guy you see who you've never seen before and ask them to go to, because that might not be your MO. But if you put that extra effort into a new woman in the space, but still being in you're new, you look new here. If you need any help, I can walk you through it. If not, glad to see you here.
To add to that, I do think, I do think our community is by and large really supportive of, and we all kind of see the need to grow our community and expand it beyond what the traditional TCG player community looks like. And so I think with that, just as you were saying, Lauren, it's not about, I think that we need to go above and beyond, and we need to really do that outreach and be proactive in our engagement of people of marginalized genders if we as a community decide that this is actually something really important that we want to see in our community. And I think that it is really special and exciting that I do think that we as a community have identified that this is something we want for the game that we all love, is that everyone is welcome and everyone is included. So we all have to make a concerted effort to actually grow the community and include others. I will say, so in the spirit of amplifying your voice, amplifying the Ladies Who Lore voice, how can people subscribe to the podcast? When can people listen to the podcast? Kind of what's y'all's schedule that y'all are looking at?
Yeah, so we're releasing one episode on every Thursday at 9 a.m. Eastern. You can find us on Apple Podcasts or on Spotify, and our link tree is right there in our Twitter bio, so you can find all of us. And then those are our show links down there at the bottom, Liam, along those little icons. So
professional.
So
it took me like 5
to learn.
minutes.
Yeah,
It was not professional. It's super easy.
Linktree is very easy to use.
Cass, help me.
Oh my goodness. You would not say that if you knew all the difficulties we had recording last night. I had to restart my computer. Like, it was a disaster.
I did too.
Yeah, I was gonna say they both had to restart their computers. We recorded in 3 different parts, but it's
fine.
it's
It's
all
fine.
for the love of the game.
That's all that matters.
All for the love of the game.
The beauty of content creation.
Truly.
Behind the scenes.
Beauty and tragedy of content creation. Well, no, thank you all so much for coming on tonight and I don't know, picking this show to kind of like tout your podcast. I think it's amazing. I love what you're doing. I love what Love to Lore is doing. And I'm really excited to see how everybody performs in Vegas. It's going to be awesome.
Yes, so are we.
Can't wait.
We don't have much longer, but how many players are going to Vegas? Do you know?
Hard to say right now because there are still some folks that we're hoping get off the wait list, including Miss Cass over here. But it's looking like at least as many as were in Toronto, which was like 12 to 14.
12.
So
That's
Nice.
amazing.
yeah,
Amazing.
it's pretty fantastic. We're excited. And the other really fun thing that we do on Ladies Who Lore is that we highlight a lady who lores every week. So you'll get to hear more about the different people in the Love to Lore community and beyond throughout the course of our show. So if you tune in, you'll meet more than just the three of us.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I love it. We do have to go here shortly. Any other from you three? Everybody should, for everybody watching, you should go subscribe to Ladies Who Lore. The link tree is there on Twitter. You can follow all of the hosts here. Any closing thoughts from you all before Rob and I close it out?
It's just been a great experience. I've wanted to do a podcast for years and just never did it. And jumping in, to anyone who's thinking about doing a podcast, just jump in.
Do it.
Had no editing experience, and I edit our show. I just kind of figured it out on a whim.
She did a great job.
YouTube helps.
Just go for it.
It's true.
I had no previous TCG experience, no podcast experience. I'm just flopping around here, but we're getting there.
I was gonna say I at least have some previous podcast experience, but like it's fun for the three of us to just get together and have a conversation, like especially because we do come at this game from these different lanes, these different angles. Like Lauren has so much competitive TCG experience from other games and really looks at this game from such an analytical angle. I learn something new from her every single week that we record. Cass is out there playing draft, playing sealed, doing, all kinds of events at her league and getting her kids and her mom into the game, like really, really taking social or casual player to a new level, in my opinion.
Lorcana ambassador.
Yeah.
And then,
Love it.
I got into the game to collect it. Like I did not expect to want to compete or deck build or anything like that. I just wanted shiny cardboard because I am
cardboard.
I am a gremlin, fully unabashedly a shiny cardboard gremlin. And now I have learned so much about this game and enjoy playing it so much that I just want to learn all the things. And so I've really gotten into like some of the like co-op aspects with the Illumiteers quest and getting into a lot of the art kind of things and the story lore of the game. Like all of those aspects is where I sit from. So it's really been cool to sort of have not necessarily a round table, but just like sit down and chat, the three of us, and learn from each other.
That's awesome.
Yeah, getting those different perspectives, When you come to our podcast, you might not know that you want all three parts, but you're going to get something out of all three parts.
You're going to learn something every single week. That's the goal.
I love it. All right. We said it. Everybody should go subscribe to Ladies Who Lore, and yeah, it's just a fantastic podcast. And thank you all so much. It's a treat having you all on. And I again can't thank you enough. Sorry, I could talk all night about Lore and it's a great community.
And real quick, want to shout out Ellie and Waylon at Sprinkle of Ink for letting us announce our show the first week. On their show, they were our little springboard into the community, which they're at least also a Love to Lore team member. She sometimes hangs out in the chat in here.
Fellow Texan.
Sprinkle, we love the Waylands. Rob, thanks for hanging out with us all evening. This was a treat. We've been waiting a long time to do it.
Yes, I'm so glad I got the opportunity.
This is so fun. You're welcome back any night. How can people follow Wana Lorcana?
So Wana Lorcana is on Spotify. I'm working on getting it put over to YouTube. I am learning. I am slow to learn these things. I had to do the editing all on my own and kind of figure out the pieces, but I wanted to podcast so bad because I love this game so much, and I've seen this community. This is a community that I can get behind with a game that I love. But it is on Spotify. Like, I have not, as I told you in the beginning of the episode here, I didn't put any new content out in the past 2 months because I was fixing my basement, but here I am with electricity in this half. So, look at those handsome people, all 4 of them. Oh my God!
Hey, we know them.
Yeah, so you're winning
I love
Twitter
them
already. Let's do this. This gives it a like. Let's give
Yes!
it a repost here.
Oh my God! See, now you just taught me how to repost. No, I'm kidding. That one I did. I did know that one. But yes, I'm trying to get it on a couple more platforms. But as of right now, Spotify's the easiest way. YouTube as well. And I try to put out content. I put about 3 or 4 episodes a week. I have some of my local players, as you guys got to listen to Josh, who was the winner of Atlanta. So get some takes in all different directions. But I'm trying to get actually each member of my play group to come on to an episode, so you can meet all of those people. Like I said, 10 women, 8 men, and I will. That's the next 18 episodes. We'll get all these people on
already.
So I got it all figured out. But I thank you guys so much for the opportunity. It's been an absolute blast, and I would love to do this anytime. Oh, I will give a quick thing. I'm going to, and you guys can teach me how to do this to be more efficient. But I'm going to give a giveaway for my next episode. I just want listener questions. Right. I want to know what people are going to want from me out of my next kind of phase here.
I get Josh's Golden Mickey.
That is gone, my friend. That is in some very rich person's hand. So congrats on him for selling it. But I'll see if I can get maybe one of his mats of remaining cards for you. But I'm glad you mentioned that, Liam, because one of the things in it is these 2 cards, which I call the Atlanta Special, which is Fairy Godmother and Perdita foils. I have the white Lorcana pin and the puppy deck sleeves, because I know people that love puppies.
Cass, is that one of the pins that you need?
Yes.
It's one of the ones I need too.
Okay. Well,
there's going to be a throwdown between Illumiteers, Cass, and Lauren.
I have another one. So whoever gets the most questions, no, I actually think I can get both of you one of these, actually. I am 95% sure I can get you both one of these. So I'll be glad to send it out.
That would be huge.
Find out how to connect to me. I'll gladly get those for you. But I'll save one for the giveaway, and I can go get the other ones for you. No probs.
And we will gladly come on your show in return.
Oh my God! Deal.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow, we're making bridges and connections.
Yeah.
Actually, yes.
We're all about here at the Illumiteers, and let's talk
making
about
friends.
Making friends, making connections. A lot of new friends made this evening. Including you all on the show here. Thank you so much again for joining us. And if you're here for the first time, thanks for watching. We do this every Monday night, except for maybe next week, 8 p.m. Central Time. We are so close. I have to plug ourselves right. We're so close to 4,000 subscribers on YouTube. So if you're watching on Twitter, I see about 253 of you are. And you haven't subscribed to YouTube, head on over. And we do the occasional video, and we do these, and we commentate and do all kinds of stuff. So we appreciate you all. But with that, Erin, any closing thoughts?
No. Not really.
Let's go. Let's say goodnight and go to sleep, because y'all are tired. It's been a long weekend.